Hi everyone, this is James at Padfoot, and in this video I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking you through why we recommend slip leads and long lines when you're training your dog and how you should be using them. Okay, so to start off with, why do we recommend slip leads over, say, harnesses or flat leather collars or polythene collars with normal leads? Well, because basically the slip lead allows your dog to take control of the leash pressure. All right. Now, scientific studies have shown that there's less neck damage caused by a rope slip lead, such as this one, a round rope, soft rope lead, than say a flat collar. But people often think that harnesses are therefore better because they don't cause neck damage, allegedly. Well, the problem with harnesses, of course, is they're designed to be pulled against. So your dog, if you put them in a harness, will find it comfortable to pull, therefore will pull. And of course, that over time ends up with lots of different kind of stress injuries to joints and their musculoskeletal system and that kind of thing, because they're that constant pulling against their mobile force. Not to mention, or not even to worry about the effect on your arm of the dog pulling all the time. So the best thing we can do is teach your dog to not pull. And if we teach your dog to not pull, most effectively using a slip lead, then as soon as they get to that point, you've got a dog that's obviously not going to be causing themselves or you any damage, because they'll just be walking along nicely on a loose lead. And if the lead goes tight, they know what that means and they know to back off the pressure. So we're teaching them a lesson here, okay? It sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but if you think about it, something that makes pulling more comfortable for your dog is not the best tool to teach your dog not to pull. Okay, so with a slip lead, the way it works, and this is one of the ones that we make, so these are made out of soft, round equestrian rein ropes. So they're very strong, they're very good in the conditions, so they're very sturdy, they don't rot or fade away with UV light or salt or water or anything like that, so they're great rope. The rope we use is made by Tough Tack down on the Gold Coast, so everything is all kind of Australian made, which is a good thing. But the way it works is what you've got is a loop, basically the same as you might have on a lasso, and a flow through there of the lead. Now what happens when your dog pulls against that lead? Obviously it tightens up, but when they back off, that pressure just automatically loosens. So it gives them control, like I was saying before, and it allows them to make the decision of, do I want to pull, this is going to be uncomfortable, but they get an instant reward for backing off. You see, as soon as they kind of go, oh, I'm going to pull less, the lead, regardless of what you do as the owner, so long as you don't pick up the slack yourself, actually loosens off automatically, and the dog is therefore rewarded instantly in terms of not having that pressure around their neck anymore for doing the right behaviour. That makes it a lot quicker for them to learn, okay? So the way you need to use your slip lead is basically you need to decide which side of your body your dog is going to walk on in a hill. Now, most people seem to walk their dogs on the left, but some on the right, and that's fine. What you want to make sure you're doing is that this long end here, the bit that slides, is over the top of their neck and is not bent over on itself like that, which will stop it moving around. So if you've got your dog on your left hand side, you simply hold up it in a P shape, drop it down onto your dog who's in the heel position on your left, and then just check. Look over the back of their neck. Dog's head is there. Is that in a straight line over the top of their neck? Yes, it is. There's no bends in it, that's going to come loose and tighten, okay? If I'd done it the wrong way around, if I'd done it as a cue, and obviously this is inverted on the camera, but hopefully you can get what I mean, and drop it down, as you can see, what I've ended up with is with a bend in the lead, all right? That is going to stop that flow through. It's going to stop it sort of, once it's tightened, it'll just stay there until you, as the owner, actually go and manually loosen it off. So the dog's not going to get the same message. So long as you get it on the right way round, straight end over the top of their neck, it's going to work perfectly. If you do it on the other side, of course, hold it up as the Q shape. Drop it down over your dog's head on the right hand side, and then just check that's flowing smoothly. Okay. Once you're on, the lead is on, and you know it's in the right position, and you've checked this is flowing smoothly, all you need to do then is take, if you're using one of our leads, take this little leather toggle here, slide it up so the lead can't come too loose. What you don't want is a lead that's so loose that when your dog puts their head down to sniff on the ground, it just drops over their head and onto the ground, okay? So you don't want to make it nice and tight, you don't want to make it too tight, but basically just slide this little leather stopper up so that it just can't come too loose. Okay. Nice and simple, great tool for use here on the coast. I mean, aside from the welfare benefits of using these leads, you know, because they're nice and soft and they're good in your hands and all of that kind of thing, they've also got no metal parts, so they can't get corroded. You know what it's like when you're at the beach and you get the little clip on your lead and it gets full of sand and salt. That's a point of weakness, therefore, in your setup, which your dog can easily break out of. The other thing with metal clips is obviously you can't see them weakening until they fail. All right, with a rope lead, so long as you're checking it regularly, making sure it's all good, just give it a visual inspection each time you use it, look for any fraying or any signs of weakness. You know, these last for a really long time. Eventually, through a lot of use, they will, you know, they will, like everything, start to disintegrate. That's when you can simply go, cool, that's good, so long, old friend, and go and buy a new one. Okay, so that's how you work with the slip lead. Now, the other thing we recommend is the long line. Long line, in terms of the ones we make anyway, are very, very simple. Again, equestrian rein rope. This is a nice flat rope. It's got no core to it, so it's really nice, flat and light. And it's simply got that metal clip in one end. Okay, this is a tool you should be using all the time with your dogs. Every time you're out, and we'll talk to you about this a lot through the course, but as you know, when you're out and about, what you need to do is make sure that your dog has to comply with your instructions. What we don't want is your dog learning that they can disobey you and there's no repercussions to that. That's called self-rewarding, and what we don't want is your dog doing that. Okay, the rewards need to come from you. So having them on the long line, whether you're training them in the backyard, whether you've taken them out, you know, just to a park for a walk around, or whether you've got them on the beach, always have them on the long line. Now, the reason we like these a lot nice and light is, again, you can get these full of salt, sand, water, doesn't matter, they're not going to fail on you. You can just kind of keep hold of one end, but your dog can drag the rest. It's not so heavy that they're going to get hampered and kind of get irritated by dragging it around. They can drag this around, but then when you say to them, Fido, come, and they don't, you've got control of them. You can just gradually, gently reel them in. Remember, we'll talk to you about this a lot during the course, but everything you say to your dog becomes non-negotiable. So you need to make sure that whenever you ask them to do something, you're in a position to make them do it if they choose not to. Okay, because they need to understand that what you say is what they have to do. Using a long line, and you should be using this all the time. Your dog should never be off this until they are reliable, you know, when you're out and about in any circumstances whatsoever, just to avoid the safety issues of your dog getting away and obviously avoid that concept of self-rewarding. Okay. So look, I hope that helps everyone. Please ask the trainers in class if anything is unclear. Make sure that you bring your slip lead, you know, to every week of the training course. Bring your long line from week 4 onwards. Now you might not get to use it, but it depends on how reliable your dog is in the state. But you should still be using it all the time you're practicing at home and out and about, you know, in everyday life. Okay, but what we use it for in the training classes is allowing you to get a further distance from your dog. But obviously that'll only work once your dog is pretty steady in what we've asked them to do. Hope that helps. Take care.